Osteoporosis is a condition in which bones become weak and brittle due to loss of bone mass and deterioration of bone tissue. The most common symptom of osteoporosis is a fractured bone, typically in the hip, spine, or wrist. Osteoporosis can cause severe pain, disability, and even death if a vertebra in the spine fractures and presses on the spinal cord. So how do we prevent osteoporosis? What are the best vitamins and supplements for osteoporosis? And what kind of diet should we eat to prevent osteoporosis? Stay with me till the end of this video and I will reveal all these answers and much more. But before we start, please like and subscribe for future videos. Osteoporosis literally means porous bone disease. Normally, bones contain many tiny holes that allow them to be light and strong. But when osteoporosis sets in, the holes get bigger and the bones become more brittle. Bones are living tissue that is constantly being broken down and rebuilt by cells called osteoclasts and osteoblasts, respectively. When you are young, your body makes more new bone than old bone, so that bone mass increases until peak bone mass is reached around the age of 30 years. After this, bone mass remains steady until after the menopause, when the level of the hormone estrogen falls and bone loss begins. In men, a gradual decline in testosterone levels after the age of 30 also causes bone loss. However, during the early stages of osteoporosis, there are no symptoms and it is often not detected until a bone breaks. But if you have any of the risk factors, you should talk to your doctor about bone density testing, because you could be at risk of developing osteoporosis. Risk factors include being postmenopausal, having a family history of osteoporosis, having a small thin frame, being under 5 feet 3 inches or 160 centimeters in height, being of Asian or Caucasian origin, having a history of fragility fractures, having low body weight, being physically inactive, having a vitamin D deficiency, and smoking or drinking alcohol in excess. Now, let's discuss the two best vitamins for osteoporosis, calcium and vitamin D. First of all, calcium. Calcium is essential for building strong bones and preventing osteoporosis. It has been estimated that over 2 billion people worldwide are deficient in calcium, and this is probably why the World Health Organization estimates that osteoporosis is responsible for 200 million fractures each year. Most people think that they get enough calcium from their diet, but studies show that only 10 to 30% of adults consume enough calcium. You can find calcium in dairy products such as milk, cheese, and yogurt. Other good sources of calcium include sardines, salmon, tofu, leafy green vegetables such as kale, and broccoli, and certain fortified foods such as orange juice, soy milk, and breakfast cereals. Studies show that taking dietary supplements of calcium can help to increase bone mass and reduce the risk of fractures in women who have gone through the menopause and men over the age of 70 years. For women under the age of 50 years and men under the age of 70 years, there is insufficient evidence to recommend routine use of calcium supplements. If you are taking calcium supplements, it's as important that you won't take too much of it, because high levels of calcium in the blood can lead to calcium deposits forming in the kidneys and other organs. Men under 70 and women under 50 should not take more than 200 milligrams of calcium per day. Over 70 men and over 50 women can take up to 400 milligrams of calcium per day. I would recommend splitting any calcium supplement intake into 2 doses, one in the morning and one in the evening. Next, vitamin D. Vitamin D is another key nutrient that plays an important role in maintaining strong bones. Your body makes vitamin D when your skin is exposed to sunlight. You can also find vitamin D in a few foods such as fatty fish, beef liver, and egg yolks. However, most people do not get enough vitamin D from their diet alone. Studies show that taking vitamin D supplements can help to increase bone mass and reduce the risk of fractures in people who have osteoporosis. Vitamin D supplements are usually recommended at a dose of 800 to 1,000 international units per day for younger people and up to 2,000 international units per day for older people. As with calcium, it is important not to take too much vitamin D, because it can cause a buildup of calcium in the blood, leading to kidney stones and other problems. Other nutrients that are important for maintaining healthy bones include magnesium, vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin B, 12, and protein. Magnesium works together with calcium to build strong bones. Good sources of magnesium include pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, avocado, spinach, and black beans. Vitamin K activates osteocalcin, a protein that is essential for bone formation. Some foods that are high in vitamin K include kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and liver. Vitamin C is needed to make collagen, a protein that helps to hold bones together. Vitamin C also helps the body absorb iron, which carries oxygen to the bone marrow where red blood cells are made. Red blood cells transport oxygen throughout the body, and this helps the osteoblasts form new bone. Good sources of vitamin C include citrus fruits, strawberries, kiwi fruit, peppers, and broccoli. Finally, protein provides the amino acids that are used to make collagen and other bone proteins. Good sources of protein include meat, poultry, fish, eggs, beans, lentils, and nuts. So now you know which vitamins and minerals are essential for strong bones. Let's move on to discuss the best diet to prevent osteoporosis. I'm going to tell you about the 5 best foods to prevent osteoporosis. No one, dairy products. Dairy products such as milk, cheese, and yogurt are excellent sources of calcium and protein, both of which are vital for strong bones. If you don't like dairy products, then you may want to consider taking a calcium supplement. No. 2. Leafy green vegetables. Leafy green vegetables such as kale, collard greens, and bok choy are packed with calcium, vitamin C, vitamin K, and magnesium, all of which are important for bone health. If you don't eat these vegetables regularly, you may want to add them to your diet or take a multivitamin that contains these nutrients. 3. Fatty fish. Fatty fish such as salmon, mackerel, and sardines are loaded with vitamin D, which is crucial for absorbing calcium. If you don't eat these fish regularly, you may want to add them to your diet or take a vitamin D supplement. 4. Almonds. Almonds are one of the best sources of vitamin E. This vitamin helps to reduce inflammation in the body, and studies show that high levels of inflammation are associated with an increased risk of fractures in people who have osteoporosis. 5. Whole grains. Whole grains such as brown rice, quinoa, and oats are rich in magnesium, which, as I mentioned earlier, helps to strengthen bones by working together with calcium. The next thing I want to discuss is exercise. There are 2 types of exercises that are beneficial for maintaining strong bones: weight-bearing exercises and balance training. Weight-bearing exercises are activities that require you to work against gravity, such as walking, jogging, dancing, climbing the stairs, hiking, and aerobics. These exercises place stress on your bones, which triggers osteoblasts to make new bone. They also help to maintain muscle mass, strength, and balance. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity weight-bearing exercise most days of the week. Balance training involves exercises that challenge your body's equilibrium, such as yoga, Tai Chi Pilates, and standing on one leg. These exercises help to improve your coordination and stability, which reduces your risk of falling and fracturing a bone. Aim for at least 2 to 3 sessions of balance training per week. Finally, let's discuss what to avoid if you have osteoporosis. First of all, tobacco smoke. Tobacco smoke contains nicotine, which stimulates osteoclasts to break down bone. Nicotine also restricts blood flow to bone tissue, which reduces the supply of calcium and other nutrients that are needed for bone formation. If you currently smoke, try to quit. If you don't smoke, don't start. Next, alcohol. Drinking too much alcohol can interfere with the absorption of calcium and other bone nutrients such as vitamin D and vitamin K. It can also lead to malnutrition because alcohol provides empty calories that displace nutritious foods in the diet. Alcohol also interferes with the way that your body makes and uses estrogen and testosterone, hormones that are needed for building strong bones. Finally, caffeine. Too much caffeine can interfere with the absorption of calcium and other bone nutrients such as vitamin D and magnesium. Caffeine also stimulates osteoclasts to break down bone. People with osteoporosis should limit their intake of caffeinated drinks such as coffee, tea, and soda, 2 to 3 cups per day. So there you have it. My top tips for preventing osteoporosis. If you have osteoporosis or if you're at risk of developing osteoporosis, I strongly recommend that you see your doctor for a bone density test. This is a simple test that measures how dense your bones are. Based on these results, your doctor may recommend that you take medication to slow down the rate of bone loss and help to rebuild bone mass. Medications commonly prescribed for osteoporosis include B. As always, I wish you great health, wealth, and happiness.